morning! Welcome to Building Beast Brands, the Authentic Rob G podcast. I'm Rob G. Today is Monday, March 4th, 2019. On my way into the box a little late this morning. We got some bit of snow last night in the suburbs of New York here. Must have got about 6-8 inches of snow. So that's always fun to wake up to when you've got a commute. So going in a little bit late after digging out the drifts that surrounded my cars and getting on the road, but it's 32 degrees, so it's not really cold, but the sun's shining in spots and the roads are already down to the asphalt. So good job to the highway departments for clearing the roads, and the temperature definitely helped along with the sunshine. So now we got a clear commute going in, but I'm a little bit behind in terms of going in, but not behind on what is going on with branding. So I want you to check me out across the web. I want you to follow what's going on inside this beast brain of mine, and I want you to learn about branding so you can raise the level of your business, raise it to a whole new level. It's a whole new game every single day when you go out and you run your business and you're looking to separate yourself from the competition. So I want to give you thoughts and tips and secrets. I want to give you ideas on what you can do to separate yourself from the competition. You know, there's a saying out there that there's a lot of noise, and that is what we are competing for these days. And recently I did a podcast as well as some Instagram and Twitter posts and feeds and all that good stuff, talking about attention, because attention is the new currency. It's not a matter of getting your business seen or making people aware of it. It's more of how do you stop them in their tracks while they're scrolling through their feeds? How do you get them to pause long enough to read what you've got to say or listen to your video, watch your video? Get them to pause long enough to dig a little deeper, maybe click on the link that accompanies it to maybe bring you to a landing page on a website and put you into the sales funnel. So we're competing for attention. There's a lot of noise out there, and the noise refers to everybody who is doing the same exact thing. They are on social media. They are bombarding you on Instagram. They are bombarding you on Facebook and Twitter. You're being bombarded every day. Information is flying at you. So it's not a matter of getting the information in front of you. That's being done. But if you notice when you go through your feed, how fast do you scroll through your feed? Sometimes I'm flicking and it's flying by and I don't even know if I'm really seeing anything. Well, that's the challenge that businesses face, is how do you get somebody to stop? I know that I'm more conscious of this than ever before as I go through my feeds, because I'm not just looking at my feeds in order to learn necessarily or make me, entertain me, so to speak, or, the lifestyle people that I follow, say in the world of fitness, which has less to do with my business, but has more to do with my lifestyle. So I'll scroll through that pretty fast, but then sometimes, because after a while it all looks the same, I see the images of, people posing. I see people teaching you how to do certain lifts. People just doing their routine and videoing it, and basically a lot of people will use it to hold themselves accountable to their followers. I follow business people who are, putting up videos of them in their offices or homes or wherever, talking into a camera and giving business advice. And so they start to look the same after a while. I kind of know what I'm in for the most part, content-wise. But sometimes I'm sure that I may miss a good nugget or two, or something specific that maybe I didn't know, or a reminder of something that I did know but I just lost sight of. But I do know that when I'm scrolling through it, sometimes things stop me because it just looks so different. Before I go any further, I do want to tell you that if you do want to learn more about this stuff, I didn't tell you where to find me across the web. So where to find me? On Twitter and Instagram at Authentic Rob G. Head on over to YouTube for my channel Savvy, S-A-V-V-Y with Rob G, where I talk about business ownership, branding, and productivity. get more thoughts and more viewpoints, more secrets over on those platforms as well, so you can get some of this great valuable content and putting out there. I'm hoping you're enjoying it, so send me some feedback. Want to know what's on your mind as well. But I'm reminded when I talk about these things of stopping people in their tracks, some things that ring true. So if you get somebody to stop, that's a good thing. You want to continue to get people to stop in their tracks, and you want to be able to get your brand's message across. And for some companies, if they run commercials, there's always the logo, of course. There's always imagery that is interesting on some level. And then to remain memorable, they will usually have a tagline in order to have something ring in your ears when you're not even, scrolling through a feed, or when you're just going about your day. Sometimes you just think of a tagline, or something makes you think of that tagline. And that tagline is meant to stick in your mind as a trigger so that you will always think of that company. And, I was thinking about some taglines, and that'll be the topic of today's episode is, a tagline. First of all, what the heck is a tagline? A tagline is that clever or snappy little saying that accompanies any kind of marketing communications from a company. Sometimes it's obscure, sometimes it's very specific, sometimes it's straightforward, sometimes it's just catchy and you don't even really know what it means, it just sounds good. But a slogan or a tagline, although not necessary in all cases, I know you see it much more prevalent with large brands, with global brands. They feel the need to do that. But there's no reason why smaller businesses can't do so either. Small to mid-sized businesses can certainly benefit from a tagline. When I think about taglines, there are some good ones out there and some that they just don't hit the mark. And one of the biggest taglines I'm sure everybody has heard of is Nike's "Just Do It." Now, this is an amazing tagline. It's great on a few different levels. Number one, it's simple. These days more than ever, simple is best. A simple logo, a simple tagline, a simple website that isn't crowded and cluttered and making people wonder where to go. Simplicity is best because, as I said before, when you're dealing with a lot of noise out there, people need something simple to follow, otherwise they get distracted and they go away. People don't want to think a lot when it comes to this kind of stuff. So just do it. Can't get simpler than 3 words, and 3 very simple words at that. The largest word is only 4 letters long. But the great thing on another level about "Just Do It" is it rings true with the brand and its true nature and purpose for being. Phil Knight started Nike back in the, I believe it's the 60s. I don't think it was the 50s, but I think it was the 60s. A great autobiography, by the way, Shoe Dog by Phil Knight. That's the Nike story. If you like that kind of stuff, you like biographies, autobiographies about successful businesses. I love this because Nike is an American icon, and because they're so huge, it's great to know where they came from. And some people feel like they were an overnight success and that Nike was always just awesome, and it couldn't be less true. They struggled a lot, and Phil Knight is responsible for building that brand. He started with a great product, and Just Do It rings true to the brand because he started the company as a way to give runners a better shoe, but then really started to take off when he did something that other shoe companies were not doing, and that was marketing to athletes. Most shoe companies of the day back then were marketing to runners. That was it, because they're the ones who needed real good running shoes. Nobody saw athletes in need of running shoes, interestingly enough. Or not many companies saw the need or the market for that, but he did. And so, when we look at athletes, Just do it is funny because, and I don't know the origins of this. This is just my take on it. Because when I think about just do it, I think about sometimes the advice I give my kids when they're whining. And a big part of athletics is there's no whining. There is sucking it up. There is grinding it out. There is grunting it out. There is working hard. There is working and playing through the pain. And practicing and playing like you practice and practice like you play. It's all the same. It's always hard. It's always all out. And so sometimes the advice is always nothing really deep. In order to go to the next level, you just do it. You stop thinking about it. You stop overthinking things because they hold you back. While you're thinking, you're rarely doing. And I believe that's the point. It's, you know what? Just do it. And that became more diverse in its meaning as it was affecting people in all sports, all different types of athletics. It was an encouragement to people who were sitting on the sidelines to get in the game. People who wanted to be out there, but really felt like, well, I guess if they felt like they weren't going pro, then they shouldn't do it. That athletics and sports was only for people who were pursuing that in an organized fashion. NBA, NHL, even college level, very competitive, very organized, very much a business. But just do it became more of a mantra for get your own butt out there, get your own self out there, and just do that thing that you want to do, whatever it is. You want to run. You want to throw a ball. You want to lift weights, go lift weights, but just do it. And we've got the shoe for you. So, phenomenal tagline. And I'm thinking of some other taglines that I think don't hit the mark so much. And these are for different reasons. Now, I go to Retro Fitness, and I really like Retro Fitness. I think it's a fantastic gym. I think it's a great setup. Personally, the ones by me, and there's 3 right within 10 miles of me. I could name 5, 6 right off the bat that are within 20 minutes of me. So there's a lot of them around me. And they're all pretty consistent. It's a franchise, I believe, and you can open up these gyms and they're pretty much set to succeed. And they have a great model. Gym's always clean. Machines are always working. There's a good diversity of people. You have people who are looking to lose weight, people who are looking to gain weight through muscle, people who are looking to just get into shape, people looking to become stronger, people of all different walks of life, teenagers, millennials, boomers, senior citizens. I mean, we've got all kinds of people there, and I think it's fantastic, and I love that about the gym. The branding I don't love so much. They've got an interesting color scheme. It's it's red and yellow, so it's definitely catching. It's definitely eye-catching. And their logo seems to represent something that is more like, I guess retro. The name throws me off a little bit because retro, what does it mean? It doesn't really mean a lot of things to do with fitness. I still don't get it. And interestingly enough, that's their headline. Their tagline is "We get you." Now, we get you. I guess I kind of get what they're going for in "We get you" because the whole idea in the fitness industry is they don't want to isolate or be too polarizing. They want to be inclusive with as many people as possible. So I believe in developing this tagline. They're saying, no matter who you are, we get you and we're for you. Now, no gym is for everybody, but they're doing a pretty good job of it. And although I'd love the opportunity to rebrand them, there's no mistaking that they're successful. So does it really matter? Probably not. Maybe to go to a whole nother level, they could stand to do that because they're pretty successful now, and it's probably a good time to do it. But if they're saying they get me, they don't know who I am. And if it's a diversity of people, it doesn't really mean anything. The gym is so mainstream that a real brand has a narrow focus. A true brand appeals to a a niche. And sometimes, some niches are wider than others, but they usually get pretty specific in who they market to. So, for instance, typically Gold's Gym is a gym where you go if you're a serious lifter. You're not going to find senior citizens in there by and large. Okay, I'm painting a broad stroke here. You're not going to find teenagers. You're not going to find house moms looking to shed a couple of pounds. Gold's Gym is a weightlifting place. When you look at retro fitness, that's like everything. They're including everything, and like I said, doing a good job. But as far as a tagline, it's mediocre. A tagline that succeeds in a completely different industry, I believe, is, and it's been around for a long time, is K Jewelers. K Jewelers they got that tagline, every kiss begins with K. Now, it's clever, all right, because, if you hear it, every kiss begins with K, kiss starts with a K. The name of the company is K Jewelers, K-A-Y, so play on words, and it's genius because typically jewelry sales are, their purchases are made by men. They're involving a typically romantic occasion, so Valentine's Day, anniversaries, engagements, and weddings. So they're typically a romantic centered buying. So every kiss begins with K. It's pretty obvious. And I think it rings true. And then they have a nice a melody, a jingle that goes with that as well. I'm not going to sing it because I can't sing. So, but you know what I'm talking about anyway. So that one succeeds. Now, here's another one that I believe probably succeeds in spite of itself. And this is really interesting. I used to belong to Planet Fitness, and I don't anymore. And I'm going to tell you why I don't belong there. And it doesn't have anything to do with the gym itself in terms of the facilities. And it doesn't have anything to do with their tagline, which I want to get to. But the reason I don't go there anymore is because they don't have a brand that is really true. Their brand isn't real, and their brand is not authentic, and it's not putting its best foot forward. And I'm going to tell you why this is true. Now, again, no accounting for success, because they're a very successful chain. So you can take what I'm saying, branding isn't a magic bullet. If you're providing value and at a reasonable price, well, then people are going to buy, okay? Sometimes your growth is in spite of yourself, though. So we're talking about taking things to another level. It's not saying that they're not successful, because they are, and that people don't like them, because people do. We're talking about is going to another level, and branding or misbranding, branding that doesn't really hit the mark, inhibits that growth. So that's what we're talking about here, because they could be much better than they are. Now, the reason I don't go to Planet Fitness is because as a person who is serious about fitness like myself, I believe that fitness clubs should be inclusive, of course, and I believe that they should really be on the lookout to help people. Okay, now listen, to help people. So I was going to Planet Fitness for a couple of years at the time, way back when, and I walked in one night, and I guess I had never been there on this particular day, but when I walked in, they had a couple of fold-out tables, and on it were about 6 stacks of pizza boxes. All these pizzas just stacked up on the table. And I was wondering, what the heck are these pizzas doing in this fitness facility, in this gym? So I turned over to the person behind the desk and I said, hey, what's with the pizzas? And they said, oh yeah, and they were all excited. Hey, yeah, the first Monday of every month, we like to reward our members, and we provide pizza for them for free. They can come and they can have pizza. And I thought to myself, as I looked over on the rows and rows of treadmills, there's some people who are looking to lose weight, some people who are looking to get healthy, and they're working hard. And here, Planet Fitness is putting out pizzas. You see where I'm going with this? That doesn't help people. You know, the one thing that people are there to do, which is very hard for a lot of people to do. People don't go to gyms largely because they're ashamed, or they'll feel judged if they're overweight or way out of shape, and it's hard work. So it's very difficult to get yourself in the mindset to go and then keep going. And a lot of people's undoing is their eating habits. If they're trying to cut out the bad food and get into shape, and you present them with pizzas at the very place that they're looking to go to get themselves away from that stuff, you know, that miss. And I get really ticked off, not at the clerk, but just internally, and I canceled my membership, and I thought, this is ridiculous. But that's a brand not being true to what their purpose is. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe their purpose is to just make you feel good and make you think like, hey, as long as you come, you'll feel good about the fact that you came here, but we're going to give you pizzas to make you feel better. So you don't really get any results as a result of that, which it just doesn't sit well with me. But Planet Fitness, as far as their tagline, I mean, their tagline is no judgment-free zone. So less of a tagline, more of a statement, but the judgment-free zone. Now think about this. They're the judgment-free zone, so they're not going to judge you if you go there. So no matter what you look like or who you are, right? That's what no judging means. That everybody's included, everybody's accepted, no judging. You come here, you'll feel comfortable, and you'll be happy you came. Except if you are a serious weightlifter and you tend to be bigger than everybody else, because then they got this lunk alarm, which is a siren and a flashing light, where if you so much as grunt while lifting a heavy weight, they sound the alarm and they escort you out of the gym. Yeah, that's the judgment-free zone. So they don't judge unless you are a heavy weightlifter and you grunt. So a big miss on 2 accounts with Planet Fitness. That's the beef I have with them. If you go there, that's fine. No, I don't judge you, but I don't like the judging of people when you say you don't judge, but you really do. So, big fail on that one. So in terms of branding and taglines, you can see where I'm going. So if you want to create a tagline for yourself, for your company, you want to make it something that rings true to your brand. So just do it with Nike, appeals to the athlete and everybody, whether you're competitive or not, or just being competitive with yourself. You know, every kiss begins with K. It's clever. It's a play on words. It rings true to who they are as a company that sells jewelry, that sells to people looking to buy for romantic occasions. And they're capitalizing on that niche because, you know, let's face it, it doesn't have to be romantic to buy a piece of jewelry. You can just do it and buy it for yourself because it makes you feel good. You can go buy it as a gift just because you love somebody, and, you know, doesn't mean you're going to kiss them. It just means you want to give them a present because you want to reward them for something. So it's not necessarily only a romantic-centered purchase, but they've niched themselves in that way, and they're doing very well with it. You want to make it true to your brand. You want to make it ring true to who you are as a brand and niche it down. And do make it not just clever, because clever works, but it doesn't have to be clever. It can just make sense. It could just be catchy. Like, how much do you like to say, just do it? You know, it makes you feel like if you're doing it and somebody else is whining, you tell them that. You know you've said it before. If you're serious about any endeavor that you're into, especially in the world of athletics, you know you've said that to somebody, or you've thought it anyway. But make it pertinent, make it relevant, make it catchy, make it cool to say, fun to say, make it memorable, make it repeatable, and make it appear everywhere so that there's lots of exposure and it will stick in people's minds. So there you have it. I want to know what you got to say. I want to hear what you're thinking. You got questions? I want to hear them. I want to hear what you want to hear on future podcasts. So hit me up across the web on Twitter and Instagram at AuthenticRobG. Over on YouTube, my channel Savvy, where I got great videos coming up all the time. Check out those videos. Spike the comments below. Hit that subscribe button. Got great new content coming up regularly, as I do here on the podcast. I want you to subscribe to this because I don't want you to miss anything. We're going to have some interviews coming up in the future, getting some people lined up there, and always great content, always valuable stuff. So take it, use it, build your business, go to the next level. That's it for today. This has been Building Beast Brands, the Authentic Rob G podcast. I am Rob G. Thank you for listening, and have a great day.